Hello, kia ora. I'm Philip Duncan and thanks for joining us for our Tuesday update for April the 18th. We've got convergence around New Zealand. That's where you've got two different airflows meeting, and that's what we're seeing right here over the South Island. I had a comment about this yesterday, someone fascinated with what was happening just to the southwest of New Zealand with these two opposing systems. Now it's slid up the west coast, and so a northerly comes down from the North Island, a southerly comes up from the lower South Island, and the two meet around about Greymouth. And what that means is the clouds push together, they build up, and the rain comes down. And that's what we're seeing right through that zone. Heavy rain from the sort of about Hokitika northwards up to Nelson, Takaka. There's some heavy rain around for the next couple of days, and again at the end of the week, because we've also got this area of low pressure to the north. Now, we were talking about the potential of a cyclone a week or so ago. It was always very borderline. Well, we're not going to have a cyclone. That was the area that was likely to form into one. But with this other area of low pressure near Tonga and another one near Norfolk Island, those two areas of low pressure are stealing energy away from the main area here. So eventually, it will consolidate into one low, but that's likely to happen out near Rarotonga. But this system's going to produce some rain for the western side of the country at the end of the week. And then the last feature, really that's a big one to talk about, this low down here and the next high producing a cooler southerly. That's coming through for Adelaide and over the next day or so, Melbourne and Hobart as well. And in fact, even a little bit into Sydney. So here for the Wednesday setup, you can see that next high coming in from the Indian Ocean, and it reaches to about Victoria with a westerly wind blowing through it. Not much of a cold change, just a degree or so down. And on the New Zealand side, still warm. You can see that convergence line. That's where the northerlies come down on one side, but more of a southerly flow on the other. So that's the reason why you're seeing those central western areas, Nelson, maybe the Kapiti Coast and Mount Taranaki, that sort of area, getting clipped by some of that heavier rain. Meanwhile, the warm airflow carries on for the north. It was around 18, 19 degrees in Auckland when you woke up this morning, and the overnight lows for the next 4 nights ahead in Auckland City, 18 degrees. That's normally what we would see in the middle of summer. So this is a very warm airflow coming from Rarotonga and sort of south of there and down and into the New Zealand area. And as we move through the week, very little change. You can see that low pressure zone to the north is kind of split now, and we've got the main one, it's about to start to deepen around Rarotonga, and the other one breaking off into the Tasman Sea. That's the one that's going to produce a little bit more rain as we go through the week, and you see here on Friday, it gets a little bit closer into the North Island. That's when that rain will start to move in. So a period of rain coming through Friday night or Saturday, as that low moves through. Pretty settled further south and dry in the east. And the next big high rolling in across Australia. But a southeasterly means from Sydney northwards, there'll be a few showers caught up in that southeasterly flow. Now this weekend, that weak area of low pressure, it is barely a low, moves over the North Island. So that instability with the extra warmth we've got means you'll see a few downpours, maybe even an isolated thunderstorm or two as that moves on through. Mostly settled in the South Island, and that Australian high getting a little bit closer to New Zealand. But still, that southeasterly with showers from Brisbane down to about Sydney carries on and continues on through Sunday as well. But the high is definitely the main feature, and it's now starting to move into the New Zealand area. So that wet weather, the last bits of it, get finally pushed away on Sunday. The high moves into the South Island, and that's going to dominate our weather for next week. It may be a little bit cooler for some of you down in the very south there, but nothing too major just yet. For now, we're fairly protected from these Southern Ocean storms due to these big highs coming through. But as you can see, there's some pretty big storms down there, and we do have some gaps between the highs. So it's those gaps between them that we're most likely to get either a southerly or a northerly, producing rain and more autumn-like weather. That is all from me. We'll see you again tomorrow with our next update. We'll catch you then.